In this forum, let me not remind you once again. Kindly introduce yourself and who you are. We can begin from my left.
Comrades power! Comrades power! Comrades power! Before I introduce myself, I want to highly condemn the frustrations that my worthy opponent, competitor, and brother and a fellow comrade Baraka, the frustration that he was made, that he passed through the system. Injustice to one comrade is injustice to all. Relax. And we have to fight such impunities together. Baraka, I wish you all the best. In front of you is Weekly for Money, the Chairperson aspirant. Thank you.
Comrades here! Comrades here! Comrades along! I want to thank you all for the opportunity that I have been given to be able to present myself before this podium. And I also want to congratulate my brother Baraka for the efforts that he had made to come to this podium. My name is Hilary Ben Olang, a third-year student pursuing industrial chemistry. Thank you.
Hello? 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 JKUSA power! Joey! 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 Thank you very much. I want to first and foremost thank my worthy opponent, Wycliffe and Olang. And also, relax. And also, in advance, accept maybe if they are going to also be grateful. I want to thank JKUSA students. I want to thank Team Baraka. And sorry I didn't begin by thanking God. I want to thank the Almighty God for the grace, for the strength, and for the wisdom to help me fight impunity. I wrestled against corruption. I wrestled tribalism, and I have married corruption. Comrades power! Comrades power! I mean no harm to anybody. I have pure intentions for this school, and I want to thank everybody in general. I ask you, my fellow comrades and delegates, to excuse me rather and pardon me. Don't gauge me by my performance in this debate, sorry. I have been released. My name has appeared on the ballot, rather on the candidates list 45 minutes ago. So let us treat this as a catch. I will perform better in the exams on Tuesday. Comrades, Tuesday! 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 I don't want to say much. My name is Baraka Wilson Ochieng. I am a Christian. I am married to one wife and she's a lady. What else do you want to know? I am the only comrade who has been in all sides of the equation in this school. I don't think there is any other aspirant in front here. I don't mean no harm. But I don't think there's anybody who's been into every part of the equation in this school. Thank you very much. Thank you for the love, and may God bless you.
Comrades power!
Comrades power. Joseph Ngwava is my name. To the Electoral Commission, we thank you for this opportunity. To my worthy competitors, I encourage you, the race will be determined on Tuesday. Today, the question that faces us as JKUAT, we are faced as a question, are we satisfied with the situation that is going on in JKUAT? For me, my part, I'm not satisfied. I'm not satisfied by Dedan Kimathi overtaking the engineering course. I'm not satisfied when COE students for 2 years, they decry about the issues of buses. I'm not satisfied when comrades across Kored, across Koandre, across CBD, across Karen, across Mombasa and Nakuru face challenges and no one is ready to address them. Comrade power! Comrade power! So today is our day. Today is our day. All the aspirants prepare. It will be a heated debate, and we are hoping that by the end of this debate, the delegates will be able to choose. Thank you very much.
Comrades power! Comrades power! Comrades power! So I take this opportunity to thank each and every one member of JKUSA who is here for this great opportunity for us, the students of JKUSA, to come and see our great leaders in JKUSA 2026-2027. My name is Muli Mwandi, alias Mr. Green, a champion of environmental conservation and good governance. I am here to make sure that JKUSA, we have the best for 2026 and 2027. Glad to be here with you guys. Inawezekana na Muli. Tuesday! Inawezekana na Muli.
All right. Thank you very much for introducing yourself. Just to remind you the rules of the debate, we have 3 cards. One is to show you have 1 minute left. We have the yellow card, which symbolizes your time is almost done. And we have the red card, which means your time is done. So our debates begin from now.
Thank you very much. And my first question goes to Muli. Actually, there are 2. One, you've had allegations like people becoming a project or a puppet of the system. Are you one? 2, or maybe you can answer that.
That's a good question to be asked by these great moderators. Yes, I am a project of the students of JKUSA.
Okay, let me ask the second one. In your manifesto, your very first agenda point is for class representatives to be remunerated. So my question is, who should pay class reps? Is it JKUSA or is it JKUAT, the school administration?
Firstly, to answer your question, I believe the class rep play a very important role in the coordination of classes in JKUSA. So with that question, I don't say that class rep will be paid, but just to be remunerated their small stipends, to appreciate their good work. So there's no need to be paid, the classes to be paid, but just to give some incentive for them to appreciate their good work they do, the students of JKUSA. And in terms of that, the remuneration should be done by JKUSA, at least as instituted in the Constitution. They be given some small stipends for their remuneration. Thank you.
So JKUSA is the one who should pay them.
Yes, paid, but remuneration for their good work done. Yes,
not the school.
JKUSA.
Thank you.
time. My first question goes to Mr. Hillary. According to your manifesto, a critical review. Kindly maintain silence. Kindly maintain silence. A critical review of your manifesto reveals that roughly 50% of your promises, including the bursary percentages, adding JKUSA to Congress, and the Bonga and Executive Forum, if a chairperson proposes a policy but Congress passes it, what is your actual backup plan when the JKUSA Congress inevitably shoots down these motions? Have you built a manifesto entirely dependent on an unpredictable parliament?
Thank you for the question that you have brought in. If the Congress fails to pass these specific motions, then they are not working in terms of the comrades, but they are working against the comrades.
Okay. In some of your points, actually most of them, you mentioned a motion will later be passed in Congress for continuous implementation. If the motion is not yet passed in the Congress, now you mean that the revise for the 2% endowment fund to 5% and they fully utilize it will not be implemented, since the Congress has to implement it, or it has to pass through the Congress first?
For anything to be stipulated or written in the JKUSA Constitution, it must pass through the JKUSA congressmen.
The Congress normally have only 2 sittings. If in those sittings they are not yet passed, and you have one term in your position as the chairperson, how will that be effective?
We have cases whereby we can bring in special sittings for the specific things to be brought on board.
Will you fund?
Number one, the Election Act that was brought before Congress. It was not brought in through the 2 sittings. It was brought in through other sittings that were brought on board in Congress.
For the extra sittings or the special sittings you talked about, they are normally sitting allowances. Will you fund them, or how will it take place for it?
We have the supplementary budget on board. It is used to allowance the congressmen. And if you look at in the 8th Congress, you realize that there was an impeachment motion that was brought on board. Where do you think the school got the money from? If it's from the same.
So, to you, Hillary, still, just a follow-up. Your manifesto, all the agendas you have, they are founded on the Congress passing them through. So it means all these are bills. They are not manifestos, because all the clause you are ending with, a Congress shall pass this motion, then is where you will proceed to implement. So my question to you is this: are these bills you are proposing, or is this a manifesto?
Let's work with whatever we have on board. Anything brought in Congress, anything that is brought before Congress has to be passed through Congress. There's nothing that can be implemented in the JKUSA or in JKUSA if it does not pass through Congress itself. Let's work with the bill that was passed in in the 7th Congress, whereby each and every school rep was given an allocation of up to 5 slots. It has to pass through Congress for implementation to take place.
Mr. Hillary, just to make me understand if this is what you are saying. So my colleague here is asking that in your manifesto, you are giving propositions of bills to be passed rather than manifestos. Yes or no? Yes or no?
They are manifestos.
According to what you have written, after every manifesto, you have said that you will propose for it to be passed in Congress. So from my understanding, this is a bill. And aside from that, a bill has a process. For a bill to be passed, there is a process, right? And we understand that in JKUAT, we have 2 sittings in Congress. And you are saying that if Congress, they deny your bill, then Congress is not for the comrades, right? But the Congress has the mandate and the authority not to pass a bill if they do not see the need. So does it mean if you enter this office, you will not do anything because none of your bills are being passed?
Okay. According to the constitutional review, there is the appendix number 3 under the constitutional review that allows for a referendum to be called forth. And if 30% of the comrades allow for these specific things to be passed through, and it allows them to be passed through, then it is later taken back to Congress.
Thank you for your answer. My question goes to you, Mr. Hillary. Mr. Baraka, sorry. Mr. Baraka. Your manifesto proposes the Baraka Bill, right? Which promises smart bursary allocations and a champion's voucher to reward extracurricular excellence. However, the Constitution clearly dictates that the bursary kitty is administered by the Social Welfare and Gender Committee in consultation with the Dean of Students, right? How exactly do you intend to force a committee you do not chair to adopt your specific champion's voucher criteria? And what happens to genuine needy students if your merit-based voucher devours the welfare funds?
Thank you. By show of hands, sorry, silence. By show of hands, any student who's ever gotten a JKUSA bursary? Any student who's ever gotten a JKUSA bursary? Thank you. So, as you can see, I'm proposing the Baraka Bill. The Baraka Bill intends for smart allocation because personally I've been needy. At one point in my life in this school, I was needy to an extent I had to do my first 2 exams in this school as special exams. The reason, that is part of the primary reason, rather the pillars of my manifesto. You failed to mention that my manifesto is entitled The Infinite Loop. You're asking how I'm going to handle something that is not under my docket. Bursary and the social welfare, the gender committee you are saying are under the office of the vice chairperson, right? In line with the same, I'd love to extend the greetings of my vice chairperson who never attended the debate for understandable reasons. I want to say, these are the same reasons we were battling with the admins. How is it that when we are running for office during this election process, we are a unit, and then once elected, we now are independent bodies? So in line with the same, the manifesto is mine. I am the aspirant, I am the candidate, I am the applicant, I am the manufacturer and the engineer of the manifesto. The vice is my appointee, so I assume to some extent, while we assume office, these are equally her manifesto. So in conjunction with that and in liaison with the office of Dean of Students, I think the smart allocation through the Baraka Bill, which is going to be affected whether or not it is passed now as a bill, because it's still under my mandate as a chairperson. It's going to be dealt with by the office of the vice chairperson. Sorry.
Okay, you have said so many things.
Yeah.
You have give us in black and white
Yeah.
how exactly are you going to do this?
Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is the most interesting part. Listen, we have bursaries, right? The normal bursary allocation system, I don't know the system they use to vet and identify needy students. My idea is, you are the ones I'm trying to help. Kindly listen, you are the ones I'm trying to help. My idea is, through the smart allocation, it has 3 stages. Number 1, we want to introduce rather a policy that there's a limit to academic qualification limit to getting the bursaries. Not for the people who are proceeding. For the people who are going to be admitted in September, we are going to introduce academic qualification and disciplinary qualification, because somebody might be needy but not determined to get the degree. You understand? So it's not only about giving the bursary. We are going to start checking as we give you the bursary. Are we really helping you? Number 2, about the champions voucher, we have the JKUSA awards during the September-December semester. When we do the JKUSA awards and we award the award winners a bursary voucher of 5,000 shillings, that will be a total of 150 shillings. It will motivate people, rather JKUSA students, to be determined and work extra hard in the extracurriculum activities. In so doing, we will at least increase the number of people getting the bursaries. Thank you.
You have mentioned that you have not done research as to how the current bursary system is. So how can you be certain that whatever you're proposing is the best way moving forward?
Because I'm the one proposing it.
So you're going to impose, you will enforce the students to work with what you think instead of what might be good for them currently.
That's why I've called it the Baraka Bill. Once it is not passed yet, it's just one of the bills inside. Am I incorporated in my manifesto? You understand? So it will go through a procedure, Congress and everything, and once passed, it will be an act of parliament, rather an act of the Congress, and after doing that, it shall be implemented. It's just a proposal.
Mr. Baraka, just a follow-up. So from what my colleague is asking, is you are proposing a bill, yet you do not know how the current bursary allocation is done, right? That's what you have said.
Yeah.
So explain to me how you come with a solution, yet you do not understand the problem that is already ongoing. You cannot pass a bill, yet you have not understood the current problem. So make us understand why Baraka bill is better, yet you do not understand the current allocations, the way they are run in the current office.
Let me ask you a question. We have the bursary. We have the bursary allocation process, right? The one I said I don't know is how it is being allocated. The problem is the bursary. I don't understand the current solution, not the problem itself. If you are to get me right. I understand the problem is the bursary. I don't understand the current solution. I really understand and have mastered my solution. I don't understand the solution of the current regime.
So you have said that you understand the solution you are proposing.
Yes.
But I want you to understand that under Schedule 7, a leader is here to serve.
Yes.
So how can you impose a bill that only you understand, but the students are not in favor? Have you taken any data or evidence from the student to back up your bill? Because you cannot propose something that is not serving the comrades, but only you are the one who is understanding.
Excuse me. I don't know what you are rattling about. One of us is not understanding the other, and it's not me. Relax, relax. Because I'm not even elected. I just have a bill. I'm not even elected. We are not allocating bursary here. You understand? It has to go through a process. The same way we are going through this electoral process, we will do that once elected. So that's a topic I'll not fancy talking about the entire time. I have a bill I'm proposing. Once the congressmen who are elected at the moment, we get into office, we will discuss that in Congress. Thank you.
Mr. Baraka,
Yes, yes,
a follow-up.
yes.
How
Yes.
are you providing a solution, yet you do not understand the problem?
The problem with you is you think the problem you are referring to as the problem is the problem. Get me right. Get me right. I mean, listen. We have bursary, right? Which is provided for in the JKUSA constitution. We have the process of allocating the same bursary. We have the students of JKUSA who are supposed to be given the same bursary. We have Wilsonius Baraka, who is proposing Baraka bill to introduce a new process of allocation, a new system. So I understand the problem. The problem is how we allocate the bursaries. The thing I said I don't understand is the current or the process my predecessors used while allocating the same bursary.
Thank you. Thank you, Baraka.
Yes, Dado.
Just another question.
Yeah.
You've said, I'm just quoting you verbatim, that the vice chairperson is your appointee.
Yes.
Is that the case?
Yes.
Is your appointee?
Yeah.
And you are wondering
Yeah.
why when you're running,
Yeah.
you run as a couple, like as a unit,
Yeah.
but when you're working, you work independently.
Yeah.
So who are you posing that question to?
That is why I was wondering.
What I'm asking,
I didn't ask a question.
so
I didn't pose a question to nobody.
my next
I
question
wondered.
is,
You said.
thank you. My next question is,
Yes.
you've also said
Yes. Relax, comrade. Silence.
you've also said
Yes.
that you equally assume that your vice chairperson will also adopt this manifesto as hers.
Yes.
So that one confirms that if you enter into office,
Yes.
you will work independently.
Yes.
And I'm assuming, you can correct me,
Yeah.
she also has another manifesto somewhere maybe that we don't know. Maybe you can clear the air about that.
You know one thing about me, if you've interacted with me well enough, one thing about me and
We've
my...
not interacted with you well enough,
Thank
so
you.
you can just
You are
proceed.
interacting with me. This is
I
interaction.
have not interacted with you, sir.
Excuse me. I think I'm going to make it clear. I don't answer rhetorics. I assumed I can ask all my fellow aspirants here who was requested to submit the manifesto of their vice. What I was trying to say, I used that to answer the previous question, which was asking me how I'm going to implement my bill through another person's office. Because, whoever, who has a microphone? Did you submit the manifesto of your vice separately? He didn't.
Baraka, kindly be objective. You have not been asked to ask other aspirant questions.
Thank you.
So just answer your question
Thank you.
the way you have been asked without including other aspirants.
I am consulting.
This question goes to Mr. Wycliffe. Mr. Wycliffe. Mr. Wycliffe, under your constitutional review agenda, you say you want to review the welfare kitty and including the clauses that are student-oriented. What do you mean by this? What specific legal binding clauses are you imposing? And what do you mean in the current constitution? What exactly does this current constitution lack? And what exact review does the welfare kitty need that cannot be resolved by simply managing it better?
Okay, thank you for the question. First of all, my manifesto drives towards introducing another statutory reduction that is under the welfare kitty. Yes, we have maybe as all of you may have noticed, we have two different drafts of the 2022 Constitution, and under the Health Social Welfare Committee, it captures there is under one of the roles, it captures the vice having the mandate to identify students with financial need. So the main purpose of this, the main purpose of the welfare kitty is to create a chance for allocation of both funds for emergency cases. An example is a case that occurred last
Tell me, what are these clauses?
as I said first, while coming up with statutory reductions, we cannot reductions without a policy guiding it. We cannot have any such reduction without a policy guiding it. So, yes, us having a policy, then we have to base it on objectives of the association that is under Article 2, so that we may have and protect and have, so that we may have policies that serves the needs and the interests of the students. Whereby the Congress will debate upon them, the welfare will debate upon them, then they'll be tabled to the Congress for further discussion. Yeah, but the policies must align with the objectives. The policies must align with the objectives of our association. That is to protect the rights and the interests of the students. Thank you.
Okay, away with that. What are the exact review does the welfare kitty need that cannot be resolved by simply managing it better? Why does it need a few clauses to be added to it? Yet, for you, managing it can be simpler. Tell me why.
Pardon, please, pardon.
I want you to tell me, what exact reviews does the welfare kitty need that cannot be resolved by simply managing it better?
Okay, first of all, yes, there's a provision for the welfare kitty within the association. I want you to get this one clear. There's a provision of the welfare kitty within our constitution. That is under the Social Gender Welfare Committee. You can confirm that one from the constitution. But it doesn't provide, it doesn't state any source of funds for this kitty. So it's just there as a clause like a social welfare kitty, but there's no source of funds for that kitty. So first of all, we have to get a means of maybe generating some funds, maybe if not from the association, to cater for the social gender welfare kitty. Yeah.
Thank you.
Silence, please. Silence, please. Now, for the sake of Mr. Wycliffe, I want to remind you again, we have 3 cards. If I show you this, it means we have 1 minute left. It is almost time, and you need to stop. Thank you. To Mr. Joseph. Silence, silence, please. Silence. Your manifesto, there is one thing that you propose that caught our eyes. You promised to establish a JKUSA student circle for local interest and savings. And specifically, you said the UN Tuna Circle as your inspiration. So first, my first question to you, What financial impact assessment did you do to warrant this as a major manifesto priority to you?
My plan to introduce a SACCO is inspired by the University of Nairobi. I've interacted with comrades across different departments, and especially ladies. I find that different ladies come together, they contribute money, and this is a situation anyone who interacts with comrades can understand. For instance, I can give you an example. Equity Bank developed from a group of members who came together, started raising money. Actually, it is a village that came up with that program. So when we empower young students to start saving as early as now, we are fostering a generation that will be formed of intellect. So the main reason, getting back to your question, the main reason that we want to introduce a SACCO, and we don't promise that this SACCO will be perfect in the first year, but if we can begin from this point, then most students will encourage savings. By the time students graduate, they will be having capital to start businesses and other things. This is very important for our life after university. Thank you.
I'll take you back to what I asked. I want to know whether you conducted any financial impact assessment, and do you have the results with you?
What I have is an inspiration. The University of Nairobi is ahead of us. And this is not early to start. This is not early to start. What we want to do, we want to borrow from them. The initiative that they are doing, we want to borrow from them because it is a good thing. It is helping comrades. So we'll borrow from their idea and begin our own SACCO. Then in 2 years, in 3 years, for example, the lecturers have their own SACCO, in which Fundilima SACCO, I'm sure you are aware of it. So if the lecturers can manage to do this from the little money our parents give us, if they give us 200 shillings, we can save 100. Then by the time we graduate, we'll have financial muscles to borrow loans to start businesses. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, please guide us on the exact legal and financial process for formulating a registered SACCO, and particularly from your research, and explain how you will capitalize it using student funds without violating the university's strict financial regulations.
This thing, it will be independent from the university. You understand that? For instance, the Fundilima SACCO that is run by the lecturers, it is not under the university. It is a platform where they've come together. The same way students can come together and start their own chamas. You understand that? So if students can come together and start their own chamas, these are the students that will encourage to keep saving and start their own SACCO. Thank you.
Do you mean, from what you've said, do you mean you want to put the burden of financing your SACCO on already broke students or comrades? My question is, are you planning to burden the already burdened students by contributing to your SACCO?
This is a voluntary initiative. No one will be forced to contribute to this SACCO. It is a voluntary initiative. Those who are willing to contribute to this SACCO, they are the ones who will be contributed. But before we begin the SACCO, we will organize an event, bring comrades together, make them understand why we want to introduce SACCO. No one will be invoiced this money to the school fees. We know mandatory deduction from the school fees for this SACCO. Thank you.
A follow-up to you, Mr. So my colleague has asked whether you have any financial evidence to prove that a SACCO can function in JKUSA. You have said no. This is an inspiration that you have, right?
Personally, I'm in a SACCO. I'm in Verona
I'm just
Ruma
asking
SACCO.
whether you
Let me
have
answer
said.
your question.
Answer the question asked. Yes
Let me
or
answer
no?
your question.
Yes.
Give me time to answer your question, right? Personally, I'm in a SACCO. And I joined this SACCO in second year. The main reason I joined this SACCO is because I understand the challenges that students face by the time they graduate. So that we'll work together with corporate companies, existing SACCOs to enhance us begin this SACCO. There are different NGOs which are willing to educate us. Our lecturers as well can guide us. Don't kill our dream. Our dream is to empower students. We are here for the conference. That is our main objective. Thank you.
So my next question will be, what is the process of starting a circle?
To begin a circle, number one, you need to come up with individuals who share a common vision. You begin to come up with individuals who share a common vision. For instance, if we wanted to begin the circle and enough number of students are not willing to join the circle, we will not be able to begin this circle. That is the reason for a start, we'll organize an event, educate the students on the reason, on the object of the reason we want to begin a circle. And most of the things, personally, I'm not in corporate. I don't do financial engineering.
Just to clarify, I have asked what is the process to start a circle. You have only told me process number one, to have individuals. So take me through how you will start this circle to the end. Don't explain, just tell me point by point by point.
I am an engineering student by profession. So, by this I mean, I am not much knowledgeable about beginning a circle. My only thing is a vision. And our vision, we will work together with students and corporate companies, probably graduates who have finished school, to coordinate us and help us in beginning this circle. Ours is a vision, and we are vision carriers.
So, from what I'm understanding, you want us to have a JKUSA, or is it JKUSA circle, right? You want us to have that circle, but you have not done any research. You do not know how a circle is formed, simply because you are an engineering student. I am not a Dan. And lastly, you know, even though you are the vision bearer, as the chair to JKUSA, an association that has all these students, we need a leader who knows clearly their vision. So if you do not know a step by step, just a simple information, how then will you oversee the implementation of a circle, yet you do not know how it is implemented?
I am that leader whom JKUSA needs. In the history of mankind, there has never been something wrong about being optimistic. There has never been something wrong about having hope. So what you need to do, we will work together with people who are in business to help us as young people understand what it takes to start a circle. The UN program which they were started, they probably didn't know all this information by the time they started. Most of the things, if you want to start a business, most of the things you will learn along the way. So this is our vision, and the vision that we've given a chance to serve as the next 1 year as the JKUSA president, with Esther as my vice president. We will start this initiative, and in 2 years, 3 years, it will be a perfect thing. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Joseph. Just to sum up this conversation, the vision is based on an assumption, and you have said this is a project or a program that could be implemented after 2 years, even in the years to come, right? You said not even in 1 year, in 2 years. And from my understanding, as a chairperson, you just serve for one regime. So how can we be sure that this circle shall be enacted during your time? Because this sounds like empty promises without any evidence.
There is nothing that starts as perfect. What we told you is, what I answered, my answer to you was that at the time of beginning this circle, it will not be that perfect. But in expect people will be elected next year, take over from where we will have started it. But our mandate is to begin it, and the people will be elected next year, and the year to come, they will further from where we will have left it. Thank you.
Thank you. My question goes to Wycliffe. I have two questions. Question number one is just a yes or no. Is our constitution, is the JKUSA constitution sovereign?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Number two, you talked about policies and some bills. And according to your JKUSA constitution, the chairperson, you are allowed to ascend all bills except certain bills. What are these exceptions?
Okay, the exceptions are under Article 6.
I just want to fact check you before I proceed. Are you sure?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. You're not correct, but it lies under the Appendix 5 of the Constitution. Those are the only bills the chairperson is not allowed to assent to. Then my last question is, at what point, you as the chair, should you call for an emergency meeting for the student council? At what event, at what point, what can inspire you constitutionally to call for an emergency meeting?
Okay. Okay, in case of any emergency issue, or let me just give an example. If, for example, we say that maybe we get to the Senate because chairperson is part of the Senate, then maybe there's something that we were supposed to table maybe to the Senate, and the response that is from the Congress, maybe there's a proposal from any member of the Congress to the maybe through the chairperson, and they'll still table to the Senate. So the kind of response that we'll get there, if it calls for maybe if it's an emergency issue, or if something that needs immediate resolution, so that we get the feedback from the Congress, then we can call through the speaker. We call for an emergency sitting. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. My question goes to you, Mr. Muli. The Constitution tasks the chairperson with resource mobilization and income generating activities, right? Mr. Muli, right?
Yes.
Yet, you plan to increase the work-study program, yet your plan to increase the work-study program relies entirely on asking the university for more money. What independent income-generating activities will you personally initiate to fund this program if the administration says the budget is frozen?
That's a very good question. So when the university says that there's not enough money, now as the chairperson, it's my role to lobby for other funds to come and supplement the budget. So as a chairperson, I can prepare a proposal to some NGOs, especially the NGOs who are there to give donations to organizations like a university and also churches. So it's just easy doing a good proposal, submit to them, go and back up my proposal, and at least we get some funds to supplement what we are trying to do for the JKUSA students. Secondly, in JKUSA, we have alumni students, and the students are doing well outside here. And we have a LISO offices near CLB there. So I can just do another proposal to ask them to kindly support JKUSA students, because they are passed through the same way we are doing right now. So I just do a proposal to them. They have at least, those who are well off, at least you do a proposal to them. They lobby some funds, come and supplement what we are having. So if the budget is not enough, at least you can get some funds to come and supplement the budget.
Again, the Constitution tasks the chairperson with resource mobilization and income generating activities. So your plan, in case the school decides to reject it, your plan is to beg the school first. But if it fails, you plan to beg other people.
That's not begging, because at least we have already communicated with the university. They said the budget is inefficient, is not enough. So at least I can now look for a backup plan, because the first plan is not efficient. Look for a backup plan. That is something I have invented. I pioneer a proposal to come and ask for other funds. Because how can I do now? Going to ask for funds from a donor doesn't mean that I'm begging, because they are willing to support students. They are willing to support people who need their support. So doing a proposal to them doesn't mean that I'm begging money, because they have already budgeted the money to donate to some organizations.
Writing proposals, does not mean that they will be accepted, right? So in the event that all the proposals that you have written fail, what income generating activities do you intend to use?
At least you can create some advertisement for the students. At least we have a website, an application, a JKUSA application. You can run some advertisements in the application. At least you get some money from online services. Yes, we can do that.
Okay, so what you're saying is, in case the begging approach fails, we are going to force our students to watch ads.
Not forcing students, because you are forcing things which relate to academics. Maybe the student will be interested to go and watch those particular advertisements, not begging the student to go and watch them. Perhaps we do it in YouTube. The student will be learning from there. And from there, they will be using airtime. Using airtime in an online service, it will be taxed by the internet providers, and at least can generate some income, because people are earning through YouTube, people are earning through TikTok. That's not begging students to go there.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Muli. So just a follow-up question. Since you are planning to resource mobilize for more money to fund the work-study program, right? My question is, who is currently funding the work-study program?
It's the university administration through the dean of students.
I want you to tell me specifically who. Yes, the work study is under the dean, but it is not the dean of the office of the dean that funds the work study. There are entities funding the work study, because you cannot resource mobilize when you do not understand who is currently funding the work study program. So who is really funding this program?
They are funded by the university administration itself, because not the dean of students who is funding it. The university administration is setting aside money to come and fund the same entity, to fund the entity itself.
I would like to pass this question to the rest of the aspirants. Kindly inform the student body who is funding the work study program that is under the dean of students. Short answers. Don't give us explanation. Short answers. We can proceed with you, Mr. Joseph.
In our constitution, the role of work-study programs, it is clearly in academic affairs docket. You can go check from that. As the chairperson, I'm mandated to perform my roles in coordination with the other elected leaders.
My question is,
so,
who is funding?
From my understanding, the Office of the Dean of Students, in collaboration with the Academic Affairs Secretary docket, is the one who is funding. Thank you.
You have said that this is in the constitution, right? Where is it in the constitution?
Under the roles and responsibilities of the academic affairs sector. You can confirm.
Okay. Let's move on to Mr. Baraka.
I think I agree with the Ngwaba, sorry, so I'll just pass.
I believe that the work study program is fully funded.
Let's maintain silence. Let's maintain silence.
I believe the work study program is fully funded by the students here on board, because we are the ones who pay the fees.
You believe or you are sure?
I am sure that it is funded by the students.
By the students. Okay.
Okay, Thank you for the question. Okay, work study program is under DVC, Administration and Finance, in collaboration with the Dean of Students Office.
Thank you so much for your responses. Just to educate our aspirants together with the audience, the money that is paid through the work study comes from three entities. Number one, we have the internal revenue. Number two, we have the student welfare fees. And number three, we have government capitation. So kindly, let's talk about the work study program from a point of information. All right?
Mr. Hillary,
Yes.
you propose a bonga and a bonga na exec forum where delegates can summon the executive twice a year. Yes or no?
Yes.
The Constitution already grants the Congress the power to oversee and summon the exec. Yes or no?
Yes.
Therefore, why are you creating an entirely redundant parallel structure instead of simplifying or allowing the Congress to act its mandate constitutionally and do its job?
According to Appendix 5 of the Constitutional Review, it provides for the impeachment of these leaders when they are called upon by the Congress. But now, we reach a scenario whereby that these individual school reps are members of the committee of these executive members. Now, this brings in a conflict of interest in between the congressmen and the executive. And therefore, I wanted to bring in the Delegates Accountability Conclave under the Bonga Exec Initiative, so that it can give the delegates an opportunity to call forth these leaders, because they're the ones who elected these leaders and it's not the congressmen.
Mr. Olang, one. Kindly silence. Silence. Mr. Olang, one. Do the delegates have powers after they finish voting?
The delegates don't have any powers once they're
Thank
done
you.
voting.
Two. Question two. Then why are you trying to create something that is unconstitutional? Three. Are you implying that the Congress is insufficient in its job? Does what you mean is that the Congress cannot provide accountability to the executive members in its totality?
Thank you for all those questions. You asked if it is unconstitutional. We are going to be having the constitutional review being done in this regime, apparently in the year 2027. We can bring this in so that it can be put to law under Congress. I cannot say that the Congress is fully incompetent, but let's work with the 9th Congress. The 9th Congress has a lot of underlying issues. Number one, they called for the list once approval of the bursary took place. That's one. We have the budget that was brought on board. How can you tell us that the student center provided 7,500 shillings in a span of 4 months?
Thank you.
Mr. Olang, I just have a follow-up question to you. So about the delegates, when do you think, or how would you feel, like what's your perception on their term? Is this just the 1 month that they are elected, or you want them to proceed to serve the entire academic year?
The delegates' annual conclave that I want to bring on board is meant to ensure that to keep our leaders in check. Because this guy is voted for these executive members with their constitution on board. They knew the constitution and they were told whatever these guys had in their manifestos. Now, the period of time that I want to bring this into specifics is the mid-semester. Because this is the period of time whereby we have a span of about 6 months, especially October, when the students are around. And the second sitting that I want to bring on board will be brought way before the election or the fallout of the former executive.
Thank you for your response. To Mr. Baraka. Silence, please, silence, please. One of your pillars is a system reset. Kindly enlighten us. What do you mean by a system reset?
One
of your key pillars in your manifesto is a system reset. Kindly enlighten us. What is this?
Thank you. So, what I mean by system reset, I think in those loops, the particular loop that tackles that is also after a colon. It also highlights that it's also called the JKUSA revamp, sorry. So if you look at the kind of JKUSA we have been having JKUSAs that we can live without for 1 week. So one of the things I'm intending to do with the JKUSA revamp, rather the system reset, is to absorb class reps into decision-making, rather policy-making tables, and at least now that you're going to have a constitutional review after 5 years, one of the things I'm going to try and do is ensure there is an orientation for first years. Personally, I'm so lucky because the reason I'm here is because I'm so lucky. Nobody told me in my first year that getting a supplementary will render me ineligible. Nobody told me. I only found out because I'm interested with Comrades Matters. Nobody told me that I pay 900 shilling for subscription fee for JKUSA. So one of the things I intend to do under that system reset is to introduce during the weeks of during the admissions, introduce a JKUSA orientation. Because trust me, nobody ever told these guys that the role of delegates, the role of a school rep, how to be eligible, how to vie, and all those. So I think when you inform them and create that awareness and do as a proper JKUSA sensitization, this is not just there for the plot. It will motivate students to study hard, avoid supplementary, and be able to vie. Number two, the system research in particular is addressing the constitutional review. I am only here because I don't serve a lesser God. It's so unfair for me to be informed that I am on the ballot. 45 minutes.
Kindly answer the question asked. Kindly answer the question asked.
I don't think I've said nothing wrong. Give me my time. I'm allocated 2 minutes. You are only there to show me that my 1 minute has elapsed and everything. Silence. So, our constitution, however much it is solid, there are some loopholes that, because, why am I here today? Because we have loopholes in our constitution. So while my regime will overlap until next year, when we will have a space, rather a room for constitutional amendment, I think my regime will try to tackle that. The loopholes we have within our constitution, because tell me why a 99-page document, the JKUSA constitution, does not tackle how to, there's no guideline whatsoever, how to handle a matter where a vice chairperson has a supplementary and how to go about it. I only had to use extra money, extra strength, and the grace of God to be here. So those are some of the things I'm intending to do with the system reset. I'm sorry if my answer offended you in any way. but there is no reason whatsoever to be offended. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I want to ask you
Silence.
a straight question.
Yeah.
Is ignorance persecuted in the law of court?
Pardon?
Is ignorance persecuted in a court of law? Yes or no? Yes or no?
In my vocabulary, the word ignorance does not exist. I'm an intelligent man. Thank you.
Then, silence please, silence please. Mr. Baraka,
Yes.
you call yourself an intelligent man, yet
I don't call
you
myself.
you
I'm
are.
an intelligent man.
Is it true then?
Yes. Silence.
Silence please. Am I correct if I tell you, by you not knowing anything about your supplementary, you are ignorant by the fact, one,
I don't have a supplementary.
Just wait.
My
Just wait.
vice had a supplementary.
No, I'm just asking.
Yes.
You mentioned supplementary as one of the things that people don't know and such.
Yeah.
But when you enroll to this school,
Yeah.
you're given letters, and these letters have like what I would call basically laws that you're supposed to follow when you're here. It outlines your supplementary and the code of conduct and how you're supposed to be here. So if you get probably a supplementary and you go on a RSO or you get discontinued, is it the problem of the student for failing to read the code of conduct, or why are you blaming the admin for not doing that? Yet these things are outlined from the get-go.
I didn't blame the admin. And I tend to really wonder why my answers, I don't know whether you're there to defend the admin or maybe try to reach a point of agreement. I'm not accusing the admin of anything. I just highlighted in my manifesto that I think an orientation for first years on matters concerning JKUSA will be important. That is what I did. This other noise, I don't know why. Maybe you can look for me when we grab some uji and we can have that discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Baraka. I am kindly requesting you to be objective. One of the rules that were passed to every aspirant before we began this debate is objectivity. So the question you are asked, please answer it. We are not here to handle other issues. We want you to answer the question we are asking you.
So you've been asking questions and I've been keeping quiet.
Thank you, Mr. Baraka. Our next question moves to Mr. Joseph. So my first question is, according to the JKUSA Constitution, there should be an AGM which is held. Are you aware of that?
Yes, I am aware.
Since you are a student in JKUAT, have you ever attended any JKUSA AGM?
I've never attended a JKUSA AGM.
So, from your understanding of what the Constitution says, when should this AGM be held?
What has always failed us is the failure of leadership and never failure
My
of
question
policy.
is, when should the AGM be held?
The student leaders who are elected, especially the executive, should come should decide.
When? Time. When should it be held?
They should come up with a date.
Pardon?
They should come up with a date.
They should come up with a date. You can pass the mic to Mr. Muli. I would like to hear his response. When should the JKUSA AGM be held?
The fourth week of the semester.
Pardon?
Fourth week of the semester.
Fourth week of this. Which semester?
Any semester of the academic year. At the start of an academic year, at the fourth week.
Okay. We can hear from Mr. Baraka.
I really don't love sounding controversial, but due to the lack of sufficient time to prepare. Don't assume that I don't know
Please
some of these
answer the
things.
question, Mr. Baraka. Answer the question asked.
Listen.
Kindly
Yes.
be objective. In this forum, I am the person in charge, and when we ask you to be objective, be objective. My question is, when is the AGM supposed to be held? Do you know?
I don't know. I was supposed to know though. I don't know.
Okay.
According to
Let's maintain silence.
in accordance to the best of my knowledge, it should be done in the mid of the semester, the 8th week of the first semester.
Proceed.
Okay, thank you. AGM in full is annual general meeting. To me, because in JKUSA, we only run for like one term, that is a period of 12 months. So annual general meetings are held at the end of every regime as we pass the financial records to the next regime. Thank you.
So when is this? At the end when? During the year?
Okay, after when handing over power to the next regime. Thank you.
Okay. Just to inform every aspirant, according to this constitution that is governing us, that I'm assuming you have read, and that is why you are vying for this chair seat, the AGM should be held on the last Wednesday of January every year. So now, my question goes back to Mr. Joseph. My question goes to Mr. Joseph. Transparency is a major theme in your manifesto. Let's be silent. Let's be silent. Transparency is a major theme in your manifesto, and you reference publishing audited accounts before every AGM. Now you know when the AGM should take place. To test your basic knowledge of the association's legal heartbeat, you have already told us when the AGM should be held, right? So, how do you intend to publish these audited accounts, yet you have acknowledged we never have a JKUSA AGM? And you have said you will be publishing them in AGM.
Transparency is not a favor leaders give you, it is your constitutional right. JKUSA Constitution, according to the JKUSA Constitution, Article 4, Clause 8, it gives the right, each student, the right to access all relevant information, including books of accounts and audit reports. No, I'm not promising something new. I'm promising to implement the thing that is in the Constitution by the following means.
Yes.
Number one, we intend to introduce financial disclosure, mandatory and public. Number two, we intend to require quarterly audits. Number three, we intend to introduce a live financial dashboard accessible to all students. Thank you.
Thank you. To you, Hillary, you are proposing the dark initiative That means the Delegates Accountability Conclave. So, and first of all, I would like you to confirm, is this a bill or not a bill? Yes or no?
It is not a bill.
What is it? What is it? Because you are saying, let me just quote you, you're saying you will form the Delegates Accountability Conclave and a motion will be passed in Congress for implementation. Is that your manifesto?
Yeah.
So is that a bill or not a bill?
If
Anything that needs to be passed by Congress, what is that?
it is a bill.
It's a bill.
Yeah.
Thank you. So my next question is, let's assume the 147 delegates are part of the Congress. So what happens to the school reps? Are they expelled from the Congress?
They are not part of the Congress.
On what grounds are you standing on to claim that the school reps are not part of Congress?
No.
Quote an article constitutionally.
The delegates are not part of Congress.
The delegates.
Yes.
Thank you. So my question was, what happens to the school reps? Just talk about the school reps.
Okay, specifically, when I was bringing that thing on board, there are supposed to be at least 2 school reps in those 2 sittings. They are the ones to collect the minutes of the whole meeting, take it before Congress, and then a follow-up is done.
So my question is, can you confirm that it's the Congress that oversees the executive? Is that true?
True.
And what forms part of the Congress as at now?
As at now,
Yes.
whatever forms the Congress are 18 school reps, 7 executive members, 7 whole reps, and the 8 congressmen from the satellite campuses, together with people of special interest who are 3 under the docket of the chairperson.
So these are the people who should oversight the Congress constitutionally, right?
Yes.
So my question is, so when you're introducing this bill for the delegates to oversight the executive, what I'm asking is, so does it mean when they enter the Congress, it will be a combined Congress having the school reps, the whole reps, and all those other guys plus the delegates?
No. It will be the 147 delegates, 2 school reps, and the 7 executive members that were chosen by the same delegates.
So 2 school reps per school.
2 school reps.
Yes.
That will be chosen.
The whole school, 2 school reps.
Yes.
So how are you going to establish that criteria that these 2 school reps are the ones who should belong in Congress? And then 2, these 2 school reps, what is their work? What are they? What happens to the other school reps who are not in Congress? Who is representing them?
Okay, this is it. Now, the 2 school reps that will be chosen in the specific criteria, we have the chair of the whole school rep body. The congressmen who have been Congress can confirm that. Now, it will be the chair together with another person chosen by the same school reps to represent them there, to be able to check the minutes and then bring it before Congress for further oversight.
So if this bill fails, what happens?
If this, let me give you a brief thing about the Constitution. Appendix 3 clearly states that a referendum can be called forth, and at least 30% of students who are part of the JKUSA from all campuses can be able to bring this referendum and bring oversight on whatever is being rejected on board by the school reps. A petition is brought on board, and then the referendum is picked from that point.
So the last question. So in an academic year, how many sittings does the Congress have?
In each and every academic year, there are at least 4 Congress sittings.
You're sure?
Yes,
Very sure.
I am very sure.
So that means the first sitting, you cannot introduce a bill in the first sitting. Is that correct?
You cannot.
So you'll be left with the second and the third. So we are assuming, let's assume it fails in the third sitting. At what point in your leadership will you be? You can quote months. Maybe you'll be, let's say if you have 1 year, at what point in time? Because if the Congress, let's assume the Congress has met today, when next should they meet?
A special sitting can be called forth as long as it's approved by the Speaker.
At what point? And what happens when the Congress rejects a bill?
When the Congress rejects a bill, it is considered null and void. But it can be brought forth again by any other member from the executive.
Okay, thank you. My question goes to you, Mr. Wycliffe. You rightly call out the Wadosi hostel sale cartels, right? Let's be candid. Who exactly is selling these hostels and how are they doing it? One. More importantly, explain exactly how you're going to deal with this deeply entrenched network without putting your student whistleblowers at risk of physical retaliations from these cartels.
Okay, thank you. What I mean by Wadosi, I mean the law administration and in collaboration with our student leaders. That is what I mean by the Wadosi.
That was the first part of the question. So what you're saying is that the cartels, the Wadosis, are admin and student leaders.
Yes.
Okay.
The
Now,
law admin and the student leaders.
okay. More importantly, how exactly are you going to deal with this deeply entrenched network without putting your student whistleblowers at the risk of physical retaliations from these people?
Okay, before coming up with a solution, we have to understand where the problem comes from. And the problem is ignorance of our first years when they join the school. I remember last year, if the school was in a position to give out the credentials, the contacts of our students to the Kejani hostels, why can't the association develop the same system and send maybe messages of awareness to our to maybe those planning to join? Another one is, yes, the app admin, there is if you look at the student portal, there is a column of hostel booking. And recently, and I question myself the use of that tab in in the student portal. Recently, we've been using I don't know, is it hostel booking site that can be manipulated by any ICT student, that can be manipulated by any hacker with any hacker around, and that is how they manage maybe to book hostels even before the first years comes, and they avail those rooms as to the cartels to sell. Thank you.
You have mentioned clearly that you have to understand the problem, right? So the main problem is that there is no transparency. That's what you're saying.
Okay, first of all, there is no transparency. And number two, there is lack of awareness to our first years. That is why most of our first years, they fall culprits in these issues. Thank you.
Okay, follow up. Just by the way. In the case, that a first-year student has bought the hostel because they are desperate. They don't have time to come look for houses here in Juja, right? What if they buy? What is your stance on this?
Okay, I think maybe your question is not complete because I expected if there's a student, who buys an hostel, who maybe books an hostel through maybe a cartel, and I get and maybe the case which just gets to my office, what I'll do, that's what I expected you to ask. But I believe when creating awareness, after creating awareness to almost all the first years joining the school, then we reduce the cases. We're not promising maybe to clear this, but we are promising to reduce the cases.
While I do appreciate you coming up with your own question and answering it, I would like to bring you back to the question. What is your stance on a situation where a student has bought a hostel out of desperation? Because at the end of the day, it is still illegal. It is still wrong, right? Out of desperation, what is your stance on that? That's what I'm asking.
Okay, to me, it's something illegal. And as many of you know, last year, we had a similar case. And it's a story trending everywhere. And it's true. Yes, if we have such a similar case, and we get to know the culprits, if we get to know the cartels, then why don't take action on them? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. My question goes to Mr. Muli. Your manifesto is heavy on class rep payments and bursaries. So I want to know, it is your 4th week in the office, okay? And the finance committee informs you that due to drop in student enrollment, there is a severe budget shortfall. You must choose. Do you abandon your promise of statutory payment for class reps, or do you cut the student bursary to pay the school reps?
Thank you. The ERP system is run 3 times, in the 4th week, 6th week, and 12th week. So when it comes to the 4th week and there is no money, I can liaise with the Registrar Academic Affairs. At least we open the ERP for the 2nd time for student rotation report again. At least lob some funds to go and fund the class rep remuneration. Thank you.
Kindly, Mr. Muli, I told you you can only choose one. Do you forgo the payment for the class reps, or do you get the payment from the bursary to pay them?
I cannot forgo it because there is a solution for that. So when we are in the 4th week and the money is insufficient, so we will reopen the ERP system again for student rotation report. So when there is a session report, we'll have enough money to remunerate the class representatives. So there is no need to forgo something, and there is a solution for it. I cannot forgo bursary allocation. Every needy student needs a bursary. So can you forgo it and there is a solution? You can't forgo it.
So, Mr. Muli, since you can't choose, do you agree that your manifesto is just there to romanticize the class rep, just to pass your policies once you get to the office?
Can you please pardon the question?
I'm asking you, since you cannot choose, my question is your manifesto just a way of romanticizing the class reps, the school reps, to pass your policies once you get to the office?
No. My manifesto is basically to just appreciate the good work the class reps do, because they have been facing a lot of trauma. So, and in the JKUSA constitution, they have not stated a particular amount the class reps should be remunerated. So, in my manifesto, I'm just planning to go through the Congress, through a motion, due to the constitutional review, which is next year, 2027 to ensure that a certain percentage is included in the JKUSA constitution to ensure that the class rep receive their stipends in time and there's no worry, there is no burden in the student because the class rep use a lot of airtime, a lot of time. At least they need some incentive for their appreciation. Thank you.
What percentage do you propose? Or how much do you propose that the class reps get paid? And how often do you plan that to be?
According to my own calculations, at least we have 1,200 class reps in JKUAT. So at least going with 70% of the JKUSA budget, it will be a good amount of money to get the class rep paid.
Mr. Muli, who pays these class reps?
They are paid by Academic Affairs Secretary in liaison with the JKUSA executive.
Then, just okay, thank you about that.
Thank you to you, Baraka. You're talking about the something to do with Bimato app that you want to integrate with the JKUAT portal for anonymous assessors, refer, and rehabilitation of the system. So my question is, in my knowledge, I know by the policy of data protection, a student is not allowed to handle another student's data. So is this thing even feasible?
So under one of my 8 loops, under the infinite loop, that is my agenda for and vision for JKUAT, I am proposing, because last year I was the brand ambassador JKUAT for Bemato mental health suit. So under the student welfare and mental health, as a priority, I'm planning to liaise with the founder of this app. For those who have data right now, maybe are connected to a network, you can check in your Play Store or Apple Store if you can. Bemato app is a mental health app that can easily help us assess, rehabilitate, and refer cases of severe mental health cases. So the same way you can use technology, advanced technology to detect and maybe assess a lot of stuff nowadays because we live in a technological era, digital era. I am proposing as the brand ambassador because I'm connected to the founders of the app, or maybe, and alternatively, we can have a student develop, because we have developers here, develop an app for the same that we can integrate and merge with the school portal so that the admin can now know and detect cases of severe mental health cases. And now through that, I think students can be helped faster.
My question is,
yeah,
are you well conversant with the policies of data protection?
I am.
You know very well that a student cannot handle another student's data.
Yeah.
And the administration cannot allow you to access or allow you to integrate our portal with your Bitamo app. That will be a breach on data protection. That's what I'm asking. So it's not about developers, it's about the data in the portal. And you as a student, you are a student leader or you'll become one, you are not allowed to handle students' data.
I am not allowed to handle student data.
So this app,
that is a proposal.
It's a proposal.
I'll take to the school as the current brand ambassador of this hub.
Thank you.
Yes.
My question goes to Mr. Joseph. Mr. Joseph, in your manifesto, you talked about upgrading the social media platforms, right? Are you familiar with Christine Karaoke as per se?
I am familiar.
Thank you. Do you know the Discovery JKUAT?
Yes, I do.
Now, how is that a real issue in JKUAT since you talked about upgrading the social media platforms?
Thank you for your question. Coming to this question, as a young generation, it is true that Gen Zs, we no longer access emails as we use other internet platforms such as TikTok and Instagram, X, and other platforms. So it would be better for the university, because what we need for the university is the information to reach the comrades. So mostly you find that when Christine Karaoke sends emails, some of the students don't open them. But if there is a JKUSA channel, a very active one, I understand there are JKUSA platforms, understand there are social media platforms. But if we could empower these platforms, so that communication is reached through these social media platforms, it would be better and the students would benefit, because information would reach them in time and they would be able to know. Thank you.
Okay, do you think who exactly is the problem? Is it the school, social management, or are students simply being ignorant?
The students are not being ignorant. In this school, we have students who pursue journalism. This would also be their own chance to empower their own skills, the skills that they learn in class. They would use the skills that they learn in class to manage these social media accounts. Thank you.
Do you think you have, okay, as the upcoming chairperson, do you think you have the authority to handle the JKUSA portal? And as no student is allowed to handle the data?
What we proposed, JKUSA is a university of technology. And being a university of technology, we do not expect that our portal is always lagging. We do not expect there are situations where you access your portal and suddenly you find that you have a zero fee balance. So we are hoping to work on this through the school in coordination with our students, whom the school as well can employ.
Okay, thank you so much. Now we have been taking questions from the audience. Huh? So rapidly, have you, Mr. Muli, been a school representative, and for how long?
Yes, I have been.
For how long?
For a period of 1 year.
Okay. Have you been a school rep, and for how long?
It's the privilege of my life to serve in the 9th JKUSA Congress as the school representative, School of Mechanical Engineering, for 1 year.
For 1 year. And Mr. Wycliffe? Oh, give him. No, out. Mr. Wycliffe, have you been a school rep, and for how long?
Yes, I serve in the 9th Congress as a school rep, School of Pharmacy.
For how long?
1 year.
1 year. Lovely. So, the three of you have admitted to have been school reps, right? Starting from Mr. Wycliffe, what did you do that impacted the daily life of the comrade in your school, and how do you intend to scale that up, if at all you did anything, to everyone in the entire JKUSA?
Okay, as a school rep, I believe while I was vying for school rep, I had a manifesto of advocating for more bursary slots for the school. And I believe in the 9th Congress, there's a motion that I tabled in the Congress of increasing the bursary slots to a minimum of 10 per school, which also included the aspect of a recommendation letter. And I believe, because before my regime, before I got into office as a school rep, all the schools within JKUSA were entitled to at least five slots. But after the 9th Congress and possibly from the 10th Congress, all the schools are entitled to 10 bursary slots. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's proceed to you, Mr. Nguava.
Number one, I would like to say that the motion for increasing bursary slots from 5 slots to 10 slots was an issue that was deliberated by all the school reps. There was a meeting in CLB, and all of us only proposed weekly.
Kindly, Mr. Nguava, let's remain objective and answer the question.
Number two, serving in the 9th JKUSA Congress, I introduced a motion that would ensure biannual remuneration of class reps. I am the reason for a long time in JKUAT, class reps were paid. Unfortunately, first years were not paid. But I am the reason class reps were paid for a very long time. In my very own school, I pride myself as the School of Mechanical. We pride ourselves to conduct the best fun day in the university. You are in my own school. You are aware of this. We contributed 170,000 to hold this event. Given a chance to serve as the president, I will for sure implement the issues I have raised in my manifesto. Thank you.
Before you proceed, I would like the audience to know that we beat his school. Next candidate.
If I understood your question well, you asked if I did something impactful to the students from my school, right? So for me, as Mr. Green, I ensure that my school, the School of Biological Sciences, with 2 departments, botany and zoology. So innovatively, I signed an MOU with Sajirek Botanical Garden, such a way that my students from my school can access Sajirek Garden for free. So even now you can confirm, tomorrow I can go to Sajirek for free. So I ensure that they access Sajirek for free. Secondly, they can receive scholarship from Chinese Academy of Science. Thirdly, the MOU I signed between me, with the School of Biological Science, Professor Gituru of Sajirek, and Professor Yan of the Chinese Academy of Sciences in China. So at least my students from the School of Biological Science, they can have some academic exchange program with the students from China, where they get to interact with the students. At least they know what they do in China, what they do in Kenya, so they are exposed for. When you go to the School of Biological Science, they are now like Chinese, they know everything about biology. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you to all of you.
So I just have a follow-up question to you, Joseph. When you say that you want to upgrade our social media platforms, and you're saying one of the problems with our school, you find that information, the communication is really poor. I want you to confirm today, is there any information that concerns this school that Christine Kariuki has not sent to the student email?
I did not indicate that the information in this school is very poor. I just said...
Let me just read again. Let me just read. You're saying... where is it? You're saying one of the problems with our school, you find that communication is really very poor. Can you confirm that's your manifesto? Are you denying? So we can continue. So what I'm saying is, and then you're proposing to upgrade our social media platforms because the communication of the school is very poor. So that means, from what I know, we only get information from Christine Kariuki. Is that correct? Just confirm, is that correct? Yes or no?
Most of the information...
Just confirm, this school, we as students, we get all the information necessary from Christine Kariuki. Is that correct? So it means, once this information is transferred to your email, the best you can do is to share in your groups, the groups that you are in. That is the best you can do as a student leader. Is that true? Is that true? No, we must engage so that I proceed to the next question.
Yes.
The best you can do is to share, right? So that means, even in those WhatsApp channels that you want to create, you're just creating another platform, but the information you're going to share will just come from Christine Kariuki. Is that true?
Yes. The main objective, yes. The main objective
yes.
Yes.
So you are not upgrading any social media platform in this school.
I'm amplifying.
You are amplifying.
Yes.
So this was a mismatch of words when you say upgrading our social media platform, and also you can confirm.
The one who is not understanding what I meant to do.
And also you can confirm when you say our communication in the school is really very poor. Is that really the case? Is that really the case that you're confirming? You're confirming. Use the mic, please. Use the mic. Confirm to the audience. Are you confirming
what we intend to do?
Just let me just put you on hold. Are you confirming that our school communication is really very poor, the way you've put it here? Just a yes or no.
Most
Just a yes or no answer. It's here. Are you confirming that Christine Kariuki is really doing a very bad job? So it's really doing a good job. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Joseph. Rapid fire question to all the candidates. We will be starting with you. So, who knows the JKUSA debt currently? Oh, let's start with you. What is the JKUSA debt? The debt. Deni.
I am not well conversant with that.
Okay, thank you. Let's move to Mr. Baraka. I am sorry. I'm really sorry for that. Mr. Baraka.
I don't know the JKUSA debt.
Pass.
I don't handle any dates, or neither am I an auditor.
Pass.
I don't know.
What is the current debt?
Approximately 10 billion.
Okay, I will educate all of you today. The debts that we are currently facing as JKUSA is around 7 to 8 billion Kenyan shillings. Now, wait, that is in surveys conducted in 2024, 2025 year. Yes. Now, the follow-up question to that goes to all the aspirants is, keeping this in mind, we have an infrastructure problem here in JKUSA. Students carry desks from one venue to another. Example is from SCC to CORED, right? And that is a big issue that we need to address. And roughly, all these assets are valued at around 4.4 billion. Keeping this in mind, how do you intend to approach this issue on infrastructure in JKUSA? Another thing to note is SCC is the best lecture hall that we have, right? Do you think the students deserve to have that as their best lecture theatre? Let's start with Mr. Baraka.
If I got you right, your question is revolving around the infrastructure we have in JKUSA. I totally agree. Maybe before I answer your question, it is good to note that, rather to prove that point, sorry to not go direct, let us look at the structure of the halls we have. The ventilation there, the ventilation we have in our halls, apart from all 6 which have windows, the rest of the halls are just halls. And I think the name is literal, such that in hall 4 and the entire halls apart from hall 6, the students are living in a corridor, such that we have a door, and when you move from the door, there's another door. So to address the same concern, recently I went to hall 4 to visit a lady, a classmate, sorry. The room was fumigated.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but kindly let us be objective due to time. You understand?
Let me exhaust my time. The room was fumigated, and there was need for ventilation. The only way this lady could find or ventilate that room was to open the doors. And it started raining, and I was wondering, how now are we going to get fresh air if our door is our window? So that is just to reaffirm of what you've said, that our infrastructure is poor. For some reason,
The first time I went to IPIC, have you been to IPIC? I
have.
thought, yeah, I thought IPIC was a school building until I realized it does not directly belong to our school. So again, to address the same concern, you started with stating the issue of chairs. I've been to estates and I've found chairs that are broken there, lying there with the buses. And now to address that concern, I think part of the work study can be combined with the work study such that we have students who can really handle that. And in return, they can get either bursaries or maybe they can get vouchers to go and eat in the mess and everything. But I think we have the skill, we have the expertise and the resources to tackle that. I've been there, and even right now, if we go there to the estates, we'll find a lot of broken chairs lying there, and nobody is paying attention to that.
So what you have said is that we will rely on the work study to fix the broken chairs, right?
Yeah?
And other infrastructural issues.
No. I've said, for example, that in particular, the issue of chairs can be well handled by the work study program. We can incorporate it because I believe at one point now on the same, we had the problem with the basketball pitch that our players are using. At one point, I was registered as a student who was supposed to do the same, provide labor to the people who are mending the basketball pitch, and then that never effected. So all I'm saying is that is just one of the suggestions. The rest can also be tackled in liaison with the administration.
Let's proceed to Mr. Joseph.
The best way to tackle our infrastructural problems is to take advantage of the students that we train. For example, when it comes to the issue of broken chairs and stuff, this university brags to produce the best engineers in the country. You are aware, as an engineering student, you train in welding and such stuff. Long ago, 10 years ago, if you get a chance to interact with the lecturers, what the school used to do, the school used to buy material during the internal attachment, which usually happens 2 years after you are done with your engineering course. During the internal attachment, the school buys material. I'm sure in your workshop, you got a chance to form tables, and the same way we can take our broken infrastructure and try to fix it. The same thing.
I would like to ask you a follow-up on what you have said. So your strategy is to use students during the internal attachment. Doesn't this violate any labor laws of any kind?
That used to happen previously, and the students benefit because they get the skills that are used.
Okay.
Yes.
Another follow-up. During the internal attachment, I will give you an example. Some students are tasked to make bins, and that project goes on for 2 whole weeks, just making one bin. How feasible is your plan with regards to this if producing one bin will take 2 weeks?
This plan is feasible because it has previously been implemented. They are not introducing something new. It has previously been done.
Let's proceed to the next candidate.
Can you please repeat the question again?
The question was, keeping in mind the dates that we have, right? And we have a problem in terms of infrastructure. What is your plan to address this issue moving forward? Because it's an issue that has been coming up.
So first of all, you cannot say that we'll be using the student to come and do the infrastructure, because what will you pay them with the money from? There's no money already. We are battling our debt. So saying that we use students.
I have asked the question to you. Do not comment on what the others have said.
Thank you. So we do like this. As I started, I said that we have already ready donors who are willing to come and sponsor institutions. So at least we can really rely on them by telling them our vision as a university. Saying them we are battling a particular debt and we have a problem of a particular amount. So can they please come chip in and come and help us do our infrastructure, because we have no resolution for that. There is a debt. What can we do? So at least we seek for donors like World Bank. They do some infrastructure to universities and even high school. So at least we seek for donors to come and help us do our infrastructure, because there is no money already. Let's seek for money, come and do our infrastructure. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So your plan again is begging.
not begging, because you have said an infrastructure. An infrastructure is an infrastructure, a building or seats. So we don't have another solution. The money is not there. We have a debt. So where will you get the money from? Not begging. That's just doing a proposal. Share a vision of the university, and at least the children to help us. Because of our debt, what can you do more?
Let's proceed to the next candidate.
We've been discussing about the infrastructure about this in the school. Number one thing I know, repairs are usually done.
Kindly raise your mic, huh?
One thing I know, repairs are usually done by the estates. Because you realize that a couple of seats are taken to the estates, they're repaired and brought back to the school institution. That's number one thing. Number two, according to the JKUSA Charter 2013, Part 18, it clearly stipulates or allows the chairperson to sit in the Senate, where student issues or student affairs are being discussed. Now, we can bring in these issues that are brought on board so that they can be looked at and can be salvaged across board. Thank you.
So your plan is to bring people back to the table to talk.
What I've known with public institutions, there is nothing that can be done without approval from above.
Thank you for that question. Let's go to the next candidate.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for the question. Okay, I want to bring to the attention of everyone, and those who are part of the 9th Congress can confirm this, that under ISAS and Lennox regime, they made a proposal to the Senate to get us new seats, new 1,000 seats. I think Bursary is here, and he can confirm that. It's upon the next regime. Yes, they've been doing follow-ups, but it's upon the incoming regime to do follow-up so that we may be able to get the new 1,000 seats.
So your plan is to wait and ask. Can you?
Okay, it's just a matter of follow-up. Yes, they've negotiated for the new seats, for the new 1,000 seats. So it's upon now the incoming regime, maybe my regime, to maybe do a follow-up and maybe pressurize the admin so that we may get the seats in time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. The reason we ask some of these questions is to educate each other. You get to know what the issue is, in case any of us, any of you gets into power, can sort those issues.
Thank you so much to all the aspirants for answering the questions. We are coming to the end of the debate. Kindly give us a parting shot why you should be elected, why now, why you. We can begin with Mr.
First thing I want to acknowledge with the university is that in this particular election, we have the wisest lot of delegates ever. So I believe the delegates will see our visions, will see my vision, will see what I have done before and what I will be doing for the students of JKUSA. For me, it's to request the delegates on Tuesday. Let's go and make the right choice for JKUSA. Let's go and make a change. At least we have a visionary leader, a leader who can stand for the comrades, and a leader who can work for the students. Inawezekana na Muli. And I am committed to serve and lead in JKUSA. Thank you so much.
The main reason why we require student leaders is for representation. We need to elect people who are vocal enough, who can hold the administration accountable. So if you join me in my dream, if you join me in my vision, please on Tuesday, come and elect me as the next JKUSA president. Thank you.
Hello? 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 Comrades Tuesday. Comrades Tuesday. For God so loved JKUSA that he brought Baraka back on the ballot. Comrades Tuesday. Comrades silence. Delegates, you can fumble any other position. You can fumble academics. You can fumble sports. You can fumble your school reps. But with a chair who is not sober, we will not be liberated from the things we are being done for. I have good intentions for this school. I believe I am the best candidate, and the timelines of whatever events might have appeared to happen before justifies everything. Delegates, I still have a date with you on Monday. We are not going to tire. This weekend, it is me and you. So on Monday, come for my manifesto launch at Silver Luna Gardens. Thank you. Have a good night. God bless JKUSA. Tuesday! Tuesday! Tuesday!
Comrades, team! Comrades along! I, as the architecture of the third liberation, want to bring in new things, new blood. We are going to ensure that we are going to make everything possible about for the comrades. Comrades, team! Comrades, power! Comrades along!
If you want a JKUSA full of bursary looters, vote for them. If you want a JKUSA that is tribalically centered, vote for them. If you want a JKUSA that is full of wholesale cartels, then you vote for them. Let me ride on the shoulders. Let me ride on the shoulders of John Lennon in one of his renditions. Imagine a united JKUSA. Imagine a JKUSA that serves the interests of the students. Imagine a JKUSA where everybody is valued. I know some may call me a dreamer, but I believe I'm not the only one dreaming of this. Let's make this one. Let's join hands in this dream together come Tuesday. The looters, bursary looters, hostel cartels. Tuesday, 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 Tuesday.
All right. Let's sit down. Let's sit down. Let's have our seats. So this has been JKUSA Debates 2026. Kindly delegates, choose the best leaders. You can have a seat.
Waka. Ikambana basi pulito. Select cheza do.